Okay, so let's get started with pharmacology and enzymology. We're going to review some pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. Enzyme kinetics. Everybody here love enzyme kinetics as much as I do? Probably not. Okay, probably not. Maybe you do. Okay, but what is Michaelis-Menten kinetics? What we're looking at is we're trying to describe the rate of the reaction. The rate of the reaction is the speed by which the substrate is being converted to a product, right? So what enzymes do, they convert substrate to product. So what we're doing is just we're describing how that rate is going to change as a function of substrate concentration. The more substrate you add, and that's basically what this plot is saying, the more substrate you add, I'm sure I have a laser pointer here somewhere, what happens to the rate? It goes up, and it goes up, and it goes up, and it goes up, and then it reaches a limit. Okay? And that limit is called Vmax. It's the maximum speed. V for velocity, right? The maximum speed. It's like my car. I can give it as much gas as I want, and as I give it more gasoline, the engine is going to go faster and faster and faster up to a certain point where it's just going to max out, right? Doesn't matter if I floor it. It's still going to go just to its Vmax. It's maximum velocity. So that's basically it. It's a very simple concept, okay? There's another concept that we have to understand, and that is the Km. So if we go halfway to the Vmax, draw a line that intersects with the curve, and then bring it down to the x-axis, this point is the Km. And remember, Km is a concentration. We call it the Michaelis-Menten constant, right? But it's a concentration. So it's going to be in micromolar or milligrams per milliliter or grams per deciliter, something like that. It's going to be a concentration. So it's a constant that is going to be a concentration. Okay? And this is exactly why it's on the x-axis, because the x-axis describes what? It's the concentration of the substrate. So any value on this line is going to be in units of concentration, right? But what does that mean? It's a concentration of what? Well, it's a concentration of substrate that will give you half of the Vmax. It's the amount of gasoline that I have to give my car to get me halfway to the maximum speed that the car can go. Okay? That's basically what it is, right? So Vmax is the maximum rate. So it's the speed of the enzyme at very high substrate concentrations. And the Km is the substrate concentration. Remember, it's a concentration of substrate that will produce half of the Vmax. Okay?